How's it going, Peter?
Hi.
All right.
The jury
Hey,
is still out on how it's going. I'm
Major?
yeah, the jury is still out. I'm working hard on integrating PyBrain as a source of um, fashion knowledge to an assistant that I'm building. So it's
Oh, okay. That's
yeah, yeah, I've been stuffing it with rules and oh wait a minute, that's my reminder to tune in. With over the last day, and I'm just about to wire it into the whole flow. So you'll be the first to know how it comes out.
exciting.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably a new area of application for the technology.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
that's
exciting.
it's once you get it kind of going, it's amazing. It makes discoveries, it finds and tells me things, it sends me messages. Um, Figure out how you want the communication to work. You could, for me, I either use Slack or just send me emails if it's above a certain threshold of interesting.
Hmm.
And
Well, right now it's supposed to be wired into a chat interface for a user. So, when he or she is describing what she's looking. What's the politically correct PC way of phrasing that? They. That should be they when they are describing what they're
okay.
looking for. This,
They them.
it's going to integrate on the one hand a PyBrain repository of previous choices and likes and stuff like that. And on the other hand, the Pi repository of general rules, because apparently, depending on your things like, for example, your body shape, it's different type of clothing that actually is advisable for you. It probably doesn't apply to us guys, but to women, it applies strongly. So it's
Okay.
and I don't want to rely on an LLM because then it's uh, cooking the planet and paying a lot of cash for the LLM. So that's according to everything you've been telling us, the Pi brain is just the thing for this sort of stuff.
I yeah, nothing against GPUs, but they're terrible
Hmm.
in every way possible. They're stupid. They don't think. They brute force everything. They burn massive amounts of energy when they shouldn't. It's just a dumb architecture for most things, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's my feeling as well. I'm uh, I'm sort of bringing the same intuition to this token usage that I normally apply to windsurfing. When I'm windsurfing, some people want to be using the biggest sails that are available and showing that they've got the strength to hold on to them in the wind. And I'm always saying, it's supposed to be your skills that allow you to use the smallest sails to achieve the effect, and then it's much more fun. And it's a similar thing here. I don't think the trick is to burn 1 trillion tokens to write something. I think that the trick is to get proper assistance from the LLMs with your own efforts. And
yeah.
similarly with the managing knowledge, right? If you've got a tool like PyBrain, that certainly hits much more closer to my intuition.
And what's interesting about the pie brain, thanks to Mark and his friends, there's a lot of boards and corporate folks, using pie brain to augment the stuff that they're doing, and it's completely quarantined from like the rest of the internet. 'Cause if you're on a Fortune 500 board, you're not allowed to use like Claude or OpenAI and things like that. So a lot of these board members were sort of like, well, I want to use AI, but I don't want to, potentially leak data. So the Pi brain ended up being perfect for them because it sits independently. It doesn't need to talk to the internet. It can be totally air gapped. So it solves a lot of the compliancy related concerns that they had. And it works without having, and you really only need a tiny little LLM, 7 billion or whatever. It's perfect.
Yeah, well, the architecture I'm driving or trying to shoot for is that I'll have an RVF locally on the user's device, and so I'm going to see what I can stuff in of his data locally on his device, as opposed to have it run in the cloud. And that seems like I've got a very good motivation for doing that, and the motivation is it's very cool to do that. So
It is cool. Okay, I'm excited. Yeah, let me know. You share it in a more private setting. That's fun.
yeah, I hope to have it, running at least in a rickety fashion by next week, so that maybe we can chat a little, and hopefully also in Budapest I can show you the what I managed to cobble together.
I wrote a post on how terrible Anthropic is, and it went viral, of course. So now I think I'm in trouble. But yeah, I'm not really sure why I'm in trouble. They've never given me really anything other than a $200 free account. So I don't know how I'm the bad guy in these scenarios. But anyway,
I got a newsletter, as everybody probably, I subscribe to a whole range of strange newsletters, some of which I don't even remember how I got into. And yesterday I got this newsletter that the chief item was about Review being the number one trending,
it's
on
trends.
GitHub. Yeah, yeah.
It trend well, so I've got so much crap that I've built, and I mean crap in the nicest way possible. But at some point, at least once a week, maybe twice, I'm trending in the top 10, and I've been trending since January. So yeah, I'm comfortably at a million plus downloads a week. And it's crazy. Like I think I'm around 100 million downloads of all my various concoctions one guy, and that's about 3.5 years of worth of effort, you know.
Mm.
And the stuff I did earlier, that stuff's, questionable of questionable quality, but it does show the evolution of our ecosystem over the last 3.5 years and what was possible.
Yeah,
It,
exactly.
it,
Yeah, because
it,
your achievement clearly is way above anybody else's, but still, it's even if somebody has, like, I don't know, a million downloads, it's still a absolutely spectacular thing. And the fact that that sort of work is augmented by AI, or enabled or made possible by AI,
almost
that's
100% AI. It's almost 100%. Like who's leading who, but you know, yeah, it's AI. What it's pretty clearly AI. That's the point. The other thing I get, I was like, oh my God, your article about your AI automation system was written by AI. I'm like, what? It's like, well, yes, I'm gonna do everything other than my narration in AI. But anyway, people have a complaint.
Mhm.
So I'm coming through okay.
All
Oh
good.
yeah, crystal clear.
And we got the Agentics site up for fall for September. Are you going to be in Budapest in a
Me?
couple weeks? Yeah,
Me? Oh yeah.
yeah, Peter.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm coming with my wife, as a matter of fact, who's also a computer scientist. I'm
Oh, okay.
trying to get her on board with all this. She was working for a corporation, and it was exactly, this was a good illustration of what you just mentioned. They were they're trying to get to use AI, and I'm just looking at this like a a train wreck that's in progress. I can already see how it's going to go completely wrong for them. But the extent that they were using AI so far was such, as opposed to what is possible and what you are doing, for example, it's like, it's light years distant, probably because mainly of these compliance issues.
Hey,
Yeah, it's all
When
compliance. Yeah.
Budapest, when it's going to take place, and how
Boo, I should know this. I'm gonna go to Roof Blow because it's the first
It's
it's the first week
the
here. And
2nd and the 3rd of June is master classes, and then the following 2 days is the conference itself.
is it possible to still like join there?
yeah. So when we,
Okay.
we get a discount. If you want the discount, you can
Yeah.
go here. I'll pop that.
Yeah.
It's actually a significant discount, I think. Um Here, I popped it. I popped it in the text area,
Nice.
and yeah, registration discount. Yeah, it's a couple hundred
Ruben, is
euros.
it?
It looks like.
Okay.
Is it possible to be at the master classes without being at the conference? Because I'm, I mean, aside from the fact that I think I've been to all the conferences to last me a lifetime, and I'm not really interested in this conference at all. Plus, I'm leaving because my son is taking part in a bicycle race in the Croatia, and there, so we're driving from Budapest to meet him en route and on the finish line. And to make that, we're leaving like on the first day of the conference. So it's and neither want to nor am able to be at the conference as such. Whereas on the 2 days of the master classes, that's the stuff that's interesting for me anyway, and I'm there. Is it? Do you guys know whether it's possible to be at the master class
Yeah.
without the conference as such?
Rob,
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. Everything is sold separately.
Is it?
You
Oh,
can
okay.
just,
Yes, I think you
my
can
Because it's
understanding is you can just pick up whatever it is that you like. For the
you're
conference,
breaking. Rob,
I'm
you're
breaking
breaking
up.
up a little bit. Yeah, you're breaking up. Are you having some bandwidth issues?
Oh,
No, no, maybe you're back.
yeah, okay.
I can, and I can.
Starlink, I better not have.
Uh, say hi to the NSA for me.
Right. That's right.
Uh,
Direct
what's
feed.
your direct feed? Yes, yeah, everything you need to know.
Yeah.
What's the name of your bird again?
Oh,
Your,
that's Maya. Can you hear Maya in the background?
I can.
Oh, my noise reduction isn't kicking in.
Well,
Okay, I'll have to keep muted.
Maya wants to let us know what she's up to.
Yeah. There's three of them. There's Romeo, Juliet, and Maya, and
Oh, jeez.
and they're all parrots. Yeah,
Well,
so they'll get loud. I'll
what
mute in between commentary.
remind me what happens at the end of Romeo and Juliet again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not a day goes by where I think we're not reenacting.
Oh, man. Dragon, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Been busy all week, but yeah, punching. Preparing now also for need to prepare for a number of meetups locally next week. First Belgrade, then locally in Novi Sad, and then week after Expo QA Madrid, and then see you guys in Budapest in the first week of June. So it's
And
getting the momentum.
I was talking to Chris. He says he wants to sponsor some drinks or some pub or bar. We should and we do we organize a place to meet up on one of the nights?
Yeah,
We
there's
should.
the Budapest chapter, Tomas and Balazs are putting together a meetup on the 2nd. And then there is a speaker dinner we can get out to, but
Oh,
the
we lost.
fourth we have a private dinner. The 5th is open, the evening of the 5th.
Hey guys, is the bandwidth issue on my side or is it on Rob? Because I had both Rob and Dragon sort of drop out. They're both getting bad
I
connections.
think it's Rob because I had Rob drop out as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
Well, it was bad
Same
luck.
here.
I asked two people with bad connections, and like I can't tell if it's me or them. Yeah, Rob,
I'm
your Starlink's giving you some trouble.
okay. I'm gonna switch to the desktop. Just one sec. I'll log in.
Okay.
Riv, do you
Yeah,
have any plans to do a meetup in London at any point?
we should talk to Montjuïc and Bensi. They've done several, and London's always popular location for us.
Yeah.
We have no
But I mean,
shortage of
with you coming over, I mean, with you included, have you got any plans to come out to the UK at any point?
No, not
Not at
I'm
the
flying through
moment.
I'm flying through Switzerland, but that's not very helpful to you. But that's the
All
closest
right.
I'm getting.
Okay, we'll keep our ears open for that.
Yeah, we should maybe in the fall we can do something. I usually get to London, once every year or so, maybe every year and a half. There's always something going on in London. I haven't
Cool.
been there. I haven't been there since last year.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Really,
Well,
really.
I'll keep my ear open for that one.
Okay.
Timing
Yeah.
for me, unfortunately, just not going to work out for the retreat, unfortunately. And Budapest is over the Monaco Grand Prix weekend, which I'm going to be at, so I'm not going to be able to join either, which I'm really bummed about. But so we'll have to look at another event.
Are you
Monaco
driving?
Grand Prix is just fine.
I know
Right, man.
it's a second rate substitute. Let's put it that way.
Well, ours will be faster paced for sure. Okay, that's it.
Uh,
That's the only joke I got. It's not too often there's that an opportunity for a F. That's I don't even know which one. Is that F1? I don't even know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
F1.
okay, it's F1. All right. A side note on the F1 of like 7 years ago, I did a driver website for a guy named Pierre Gasly,
Yeah, I
who
know
was
him. Yeah,
on the Red Bull. He's a
yeah.
great guy. He was the second guy driver, and I helped him with his first website and some BS crypto thing that we did. But yeah, so that's my entry into
Ah,
into
interesting.
the F1 world.
I
All
knew
right.
I knew there
Well,
was I knew there was a story, Roof. There always
there's
Yeah,
is, right?
that's right.
Like you mentioned something, oh, that rapper, I made a site. Oh, the F1 guys, yeah, I made a site for them. There's a,
actually, okay, you guys, you want to hear my rapper story?
yeah, tell them
So,
the rapper.
okay, so in 2006, I met up with Sean Carter, who goes by Jay-Z, and I was supposed to do a website for Garth Brooks, the country guy. But
Mhm.
Garth Brooks was having a midlife crisis of some sort and divorced or something else, and so he didn't want to commit to this streaming video website. So he introduces me to his manager, and his manager is this kind of foul-mouthed Brooklyn guy that just swears way too much. But he also represented Jay-Z. So Jay-Z was working on this website, the concept, and I'm like, well, why don't we do? And at the time, YouTube had just come out, so why don't we do like a hip hop YouTube channel sort of thing? And anyway, so we built it. It was called Rock Nation, and interesting to note, back then Rihanna was his assistant. So
Oh wow.
when we went to his office in Midtown Manhattan, there's a really beautiful young woman, and she turns out later to be just as famous. But last part of the story. So I built this website. It was sponsored by Orange Telecom in France and Intel here in the U.S. And new up and coming artist Kanye West was doing a concert at Madison Square Gardens. And so Jay-Z and company invited me and my sort of Orange Telecom and Intel crew to go to Madison Square Gardens. So they had this little quarantine area. I'm sitting next to this guy named Andre Benjamin from the Outcast group. But that's not the most interesting part of the story. So I get to go backstage and meet Kanye West. So I'm like, oh right, I get to meet Kanye West and I, with my entourage of super nerds, and he looks at me and says, what's your deal? You've got the geekiest entourage I've ever seen. That's it. That's my entire Kanye West story. But he could basically call me a geek,
Yeah.
Well,
which I am.
frankly, I was waiting for the moment to tell us that you sang for one of instead of one of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's saying. Yeah. Anyway, that's but Sean is a really good guy. I really like Sean. Now his manager, he's a whole other can of worms. But here we are. Rob, you got your internet working over there?
Yep, yep. We're solidified. Much better on the desktop than the mobile.
All right.
So
Yeah,
Ruben, about Budapest, are you saying that the adrenaline is going to flow as much as Monte Carlo?
well, it depends if you're gambling, but okay. Monte Carlo is an interesting town, if you can call it that, in the side of the. I've been there a few times, various conferences. It's all it is basically casinos, right? There's
I
not much
just
else to
drove
do.
through it, never stopped.
Well, yeah, on the train ride to somewhere more interesting.
You know,
But
I was actually driving, I think, a BMW or something from Munich. It was a fun drive, but no, I didn't stop. Didn't have time. Didn't want to lose
well,
money.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, okay. One more reminisce. I'm on a roll here today. When I was 18, the day after I graduated from high school, I decided to go to Europe, and I thought, the $250 I had saved up was going to be enough to sort of cover me for three, 2 months in Europe. So I quickly realized that the $250 wasn't going to last me more than a couple days, and this was in the early, mid 90s or whatever. And so back in those days, there was these bus tours around Europe that the young people, mostly Australians, would do. So anyway, I befriended a group of Australians and managed to sort of weasel myself onto their bus. And we would hop. I lasted with them for a week. We went through sort of Northern Europe and down through France, and then ended up in Cannes and Monte Carlo. At which point they apparently got sick of me and ditched me overnight. So when I went to meet them the next day, the bus was gone and I was stuck in Monte Carlo in Cannes and I had to figure out how to get with no money back, somewhere. Anyway, that's my story, at least that part of the story. And I was able to get a bit of bucks by playing my guitar on the corner, and then I went to Monte Carlo and I did a couple. What was it? It was some weird Chinese like gambling game. I'm not sure which one it was, but it might have been Mahjong or something. And anyway, I managed to make a few bucks to get on a bus and get to Italy. That's my Monte Carlo story.
So it was a busking and mahjong trip.
Well, I'm not a really good guitar player. I'm good at like power chords. So it was
Yeah,
it
there
was
you go.
probably it was a cross between Pearl Jam and Nirvana, probably, or something.
That's right. That was the era.
It smells like teen, like Anyway,
Oh,
so what
we
do we
got a
got to cover today, Rob?
we got a ton actually. There's I got a page of notes, so I'll just go through real quick. As far as lightning talks, we have full spots and then meetups all over the place. Tomorrow is Bengaluru, so Craftsman's meetup, and then Monday the meetups are in Krakow, Poland, and then Ireland with Cole and Brian. Wednesday is the big London, Seattle, across the pond mashup. So I think we all want to be on that one. Thursday, of course, Dragons meetup in Novi Sad. Also Vancouver next Thursday. So there's like 6 or 7 meetups happening just next week. And then, of course, the meetup in Budapest June 2nd with the Hungary chapter, Tamás and Balázs. And then for today, we got a bunch of different things to cover. We've got Ocean. He's going to give us a neat new demo. Brad's going to cover a little bit about the fall retreat in the Muskokas. Nick has been collecting feedback on OIA, so we want to talk about that. There's some really fascinating aspects of that. And then as well, Matt and Bernard DeCasse, and they've got a hackathon challenge for the community. So we got a bunch of stuff. Brad may have to hop off, so when the time comes for the talks, we'll pull him up first. And I'm gonna have to monitor both the volume of my parrots and my internet connection, so I may turn off my video just to make sure I'm not lagging out. But it's a full, big, busy week next week.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'm preparing to get myself to Hungary. I'm still waiting for my passport to get back from Canada. It's been more than a month, so I had to call them up this morning and tell them to get their act together. But I've got a couple other passports I can use as well. But generally speaking, pulling out more than one passport's a bad plan. Um, so
Cool.
we've had, it's really interesting, the flow of like the virality of things recently, and what I've been, again, fortunate in the sort of amount of things that we've created over the last couple years. So yeah, I'm back in the top spot. So whatever that means. Again, Peter, you said you saw me in some sort of newsletter. It's been crazy. It's like it like alternates between projects. And what's interesting about this, is it like it's like one thing sort of goes, peters off a little bit, and then the next thing blows up, and it's like a constant sort of stream of like something trending. And they all kind of hit and work at once. My other project was I've moved down a little bit now. I'm in the fourth spot here for review, but it's been pretty nuts. Like the amount, yeah, 1,800 stars just today, right? I remember when I started this, it would have been like I was amazed when I would get like to 50 or 100 stars. Now a routine day across the portfolio of GitHub projects, I could do 4 or 5 thousand stars in a given day, right? It's just a really interesting time. It's like GitHub somehow or other has become the social network of, for sort of not just code, but like sharing ideas and methods and structure, right? It's a and I don't know, maybe if anyone else is seeing it, but for me, it's like it's been incredible. And it's been really this year. It's like January, it's really started, maybe December, but there was this weird inflection. Suddenly everyone started joining GitHub or something.
Yeah. Hey, Roof,
Dude,
is
you're
it the,
AI cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
is
I
it the
know.
case
So,
of like richer, they get richer because when you have a lot of star in one repo, like when you open up another one, like people like just more aware of it and they will just start it more.
Yeah,
No?
well, I think yeah, I'm trying to dissect it exactly because I'm trying to figure out exactly how and why it works. Like, and so what I think, and I don't have proof here, but if we go to my main page, wherever that is here, I think this number here, it's almost 8,000 followers. So I think what happens is I've reached this point where I can basically post anything, and I know that at least several thousand people will see whatever crazy thing I put out there. So
Mm-hmm.
they're getting like, so the more I interact with my systems, the more likely they are to go viral. So for example, last week I did a lot of work on the roof flow system to sort of work out some bugs, and Peter had pointed out a few. So I put a lot of effort, and the result of that was I was #1 for roof flow. That petered off because I'm sort of done with that. I fixed most of the major issues. Then I went back to review because I've been working on my appliance and related things and did a push around review. So what I saw as soon as I did that, yesterday this was actually #1. It's gone down a little bit today. So there's a direct correlation to the amount of effort that I put into these projects and the ability for them to quickly trend and then gain more traction. And yeah, it's a chicken and egg sort of thing, but I've definitely cracked the egg or something. Wow, you got a comment?
Yeah, Rue, thanks. I just wanted to hear everyone's opinion on this whole limitation or these extra $200 credits we're going to get with Claude P, because I've built quite a few applications around using Claude P, and obviously others with using the SDK, and I think it's really thrown a spanner in the works. I just wanted to hear what your viewpoint is, Rue. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to retract?
I don't know. You saw my post went viral as well. Again, it was a little bit over the top. I put a middle finger with the tattoo of Claude on it, and it was tongue in cheek. Obviously, I wasn't saying anyway. Yeah, the Anthropic guys weren't enthused by that. But oh, am I coming through okay? I'm getting my internet connection is unstable. Am I
Yeah,
breaking
you
up?
did break up a bit there.
Yeah,
You're breaking up a bit.
Possibly.
breaking a little bit, yeah.
Uh,
Wasn't the icon for #1 on your post? Or was it the middle
sorry,
finger?
guys, I'm breaking up a little bit. Hopefully, I'm coming through okay
Generally,
again. Sorry, can you? Yeah. If I'm breaking up, just let me know or send me.
Hey,
Yeah,
Roof, you're breaking up.
generally not, or generally I am.
You are.
Still breaking up, Roof.
I don't know why
So, Lyle,
I got too much
Lately, you
stuff on
have
my
been
network.
breaking up.
here's a different take potentially, Lyle. Anthropic has so much inference capacity to sell, and more and more enterprises are willing to pay API level pricing for
Yeah.
that inference. So it's in Anthropic's interest to take this limited token inference capacity and sell it at the higher price than at our monthly subscription prices.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
imagine
just
this will
adding to that,
continue to happen.
I just took a new position and I am now with the new position forced to use our license price and I'm paying close to $2,000 and I'm still hitting limits that I was not hitting with a $200 max plan. Just to
Wow.
give you an idea of the difference in money to Anthropic, it's not small.
Yeah, one of my clients, again, a very large consumer hardware company, the person I'm working with, they spent roughly $32,000 last month on his single Claude Code instance running, work hours and significant. And I was working alongside of them, and I've got, whenever I do these projects that I get a kind of dedicated Claude account just to work on that project so I don't max out, for their things. I was comfortably within the $200 range, doing exactly basically the same work he was doing. So if you're looking to an apples to apples comparison, $32,000 in Anthropic versus $200. That's the challenge.
Right.
My question is are people going to go to Codex within this group?
Well,
Is anyone
You're
taking
not
that
there
seriously and
already?
moving over?
the problem with Codex is that they don't give you as much. I've been using Codex as well, and I max that out frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't think we always know it's been supplemented, regardless if they want to make more money or not. It costs them there. It's a loss, right? And it's been the heavy users like us that have been able to take advantage of the low users that are paying the $200. And I think you should always have an eye on eventually getting local. Hopefully, if it's only ever still 6 months behind, I think we'd be all perfectly happy when, Gwen's performing it or whatever Minimax at 3.7. But like, sorry, 4.7, but like you have to have that eye on there.
Yeah,
Like
no,
I,
for
I
sure.
know I'm upset as well, but like it's expected and we should always have that vector towards that future. And some of it is mixing anyways for Codex just because of having a tertiary idea at the round table sometimes to check. And so I don't think it's never been a one solve, but for hobby, we'll call us hobbyists, but we're, the leaders of everything. Like I just think we shouldn't be surprised by it. I think that we would like transparency. So I think the marketing and their approach sucks, just like every other freaking AI company has the worst marketing in the
Yeah.
world. But it's a reality, regardless if we think they're money grabbing or not. I think they're losing. I know they're losing money. There's no way, you'd pay 200. You can't even rent that kind of GPU for $200. So,
Yeah.
I think it's
yeah
practical. I
the
think that they should be transparent. That's my
to
opinion.
to the
Yeah.
to the $200 who is this going to affect? If you're predominantly in Claude Code and you're not using the dash P's and the sort of command line tools, it's not going to affect you at all. It looks like it's going to be the same, if not better, possibly. Now, if the way that I use it in Rooflow in particular, and when you're using Rooflow, there's foreground agents and there's background agents, and the background agents are broken into essentially two different forms of background, maybe three, but two different forms of background agents. Background agents that use my local model that I'm basically the reason why Rooflow takes so long to download is I'm forcing you down to use my vector and my embedding model through basically an Onyx implementation. And what happens, and I use that to save money. So those agents use the local embedding and vectors to sort of navigate and do the tasks they need to do without asking Claude for guidance, which saves you tokens. The other agents, occasionally that I need for guidance, I invoke using the dash P, and then I do a verbose output using the JSON structure or JSON stream, depending if it's federated, and that works amazing. So what that does is allows me to go from a max of 15 agents, which is the maximum amount of concurrent agents you can run in the sort of interactive CLI, whatever you call that, to basically an unlimited amount of background agents through the dash P because I can thread them independently. So I can do dozens. The second part that I'm doing, and this is the really important part. So I can now invoke these agents using the dash P, a command, verbose output, and JSON, but I can also add a plugin DIR. The plugin DIR allows me to actually invoke specific plugins that I can use specifically within those agents. That gives me the ability to do long horizon agents that run for weeks, potentially just doing whatever they need to do, monitoring in a kind of loop, but a loop outside of the core UI. And the last part, that's important because then I can put that as part of like a startup process, cron jobs, other things that run on the server. That goes away. So that means $200 in that design philosophy would last maybe a day in the types of things I'm working on. So I'm going from basically running all the time to lasting a day and having to pay. But if you're not using that, then you're probably not going to have a problem. But the last part is probably about 30% of the users of RooFlow use it specifically in the way that I just described. I'm still
So
having internet issues.
does that mean you're going to have to refactor RooFlow to accommodate this roof without the Claude P? Ah, you're muted.
Oh, am I coming through, guys?
Yeah, you're coming through now.
All right. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having so much I get too many computers in my. I probably need another interconnection. All right, Chris, how's it going? You get your hand up.
Yeah. So I think somebody shared a link earlier, but right now OpenAI has a special where you get unlimited agents and infinite tokens for $20 a month. And yeah, take advantage of it while you can. And it's a lot of fun. Really, infinite tokens.
I feel like this is going to be like the cell phone
This is
thing, like
that
just
special.
keep hopping to every single special out there.
So what
yeah.
happens is Codex cuts you off when the job finishes. But with the goal command, the job never finishes. Right. And you can control and steer your agents with GitHub issues. And then you just set the goal to complete all the open GitHub issues. And I have had 3 agents now running for 4 days on 0 tokens. Okay. And so all you need is the $20 plan. You need to be able to just set a goal and kick it off. And you can do it with unlimited agents, as many as you want. And then the goal never, you just continue to manipulate the GitHub issues so the goal never ends. And so, yeah, you have infinite
Hey, Chris,
tokens, right?
it would be great if we could one Friday you take a few minutes and show us how you do that. As somebody that's lived on Claude Code, I haven't gone back to Codex because all my time, energy, and effort is in RooFlow and on that. I think a lot of us are in the same camp. If you've been able to crack this, it'd be really great to just spend 5 or 10 minutes and see how you did what you did. And if the rest of you guys don't think that's useful, but we don't have to do it. But I have to think that would be helpful.
Yeah,
it was clear, Stuart.
But don't get confused though. OpenAI is going to come to pay the piper too.
Of course they are.
Right. So
yeah.
And I trust
are.
OpenAI as far as I can spit. So, I all my companies that I support, I'm all still always, how do you at least operational AI, like building separate, like Claude Code, cool, but operational AI trying to stay local as much as possible and get those use cases down to stay on local models because that's you got to have your vector on that or you're just going to replace costs at the end of the day.
Yeah, the biggest challenge I have with the Codex UI is the lack of a loop. There is no loop concept directly in the UI itself. So in order to loop anything, you have to do it externally, which again, back to my dash P problem, isn't necessarily a problem. But I kind of like the visual indicator of the loop that you get in Claude or similar knockoffs like PyDev.
You can always just do
All right,
in a
hopefully I'm
right?
coming through. I'm having some internet issues here. My
Roof, have you tried
I
doing
get too
just
much crap in my office apparently. Brad wanted to present the retreat.
Yeah, Brad.
Oh, yeah. Can someone turn on sharing?
Sure.
But yeah, really excited. We have a retreat. A lot of people have worked really hard. Roof, the website looks incredible. Brenda, Nick, myself, Rob, a bunch of us have been involved. Oh, still can't share.
Cheers. I'm not even sure how to even enable that. Is Martin around?
Okay. Well, if anyone wants to go to retreat.agentics.org, I'll throw it in um, the the chat, but retreat.agentics.org. We're going to be going to Muskoka, Canada. So that's about 2 hours north of Toronto. We'll get a bus. The goal is we had an amazing retreat down in Vermont. So it was a high bar, but we're looking to be able to try and do as great as they did down there. But it's going to be in September. Oh, someone's able to share. That's awesome. Oh, no. But it's going to be in September. website, we're open for having rooms. There's solo room, there's a buddy room, so if you want to partner up with someone, and there's also if you want a family suite. So the solo room is a one-bedroom suite with a pull-out couch. The early bird special until June 1st, so a couple of weeks, is 1500 US. That covers absolutely everything. We're going to get accommodations. We have a boat tour that goes around. It's a private boat tour at sunset that will be going around seeing all the celebrity cottages. The next grade is if you want to buddy up with someone, it's a two-bedroom suite, $1,200 US early bird special, comes with everything, and there's a family suite. So I know myself, the Cohn family, if you want to come, it's again two-bedroom suite. That's $1,800 plus an extra 450 for all the other stuff, including all the foods covered off, the boat tour, a bunch of the other stuff. We're setting up the schedule right now. So it will be intensive. Arrival on Friday, September 18th. You can come there a little bit early. Official check-in is at 4 o'clock. Saturday we have 4 sessions that we're looking to have. So we're going still to be determined, but it's going to be agentic focused. We're doing a boat tour on the Saturday and coding by bonfire. So hopefully the internet works out. All-day sessions on Sunday. We're looking to have a hackathon. So still to be determined, but a hackathon. So we'll be delivering some stuff on Sunday, and then Monday, stick around for breakfast, and then we kick out. All pricing is in US dollars. We do encourage if people are thinking of signing up, please sign up because the funds for the early bird special help cover off all the bills that we have to pay. If you need help getting over into Canada for visas and all that kind of stuff, we should set up something on WhatsApp. But I know there's been a couple of questions. You can reach out to me, to Nick, to Rob. We'll help you out. Anything else, Ruth? You and Brenda have been really involved in the design and selecting the place. So really looking forward to it.
Well, the first payment that was made by Brenda, so that works. You know,
You're breaking up, Roof. Should anyone else want to tell him?
Here's the site anyways. What is it? It is.
Rube, you've gone silent.
Yeah, so retreat.agentics.org.
possible. Oh, am I still breaking up today? My internet is just not great today for some reason. Too many
Yeah, your screen share was showing, but we couldn't hear you. It was a little jumpy.
Okay. All right.
The internet should be good. The name of it's actually owned by a very large corporation called Club Links. They have golf courses around the world. So it's a professional location. We have meeting rooms that fit 55 people. If we're over capacity, we have backup rooms also available. Limited